from watching a vase, seeing a vase at the exhibition. I went back to the museum afterwards. I went back to the museum as part of my research and said, is an inventory of the things that were in that exhibition, but they don't take inventories. Anyhow, so I couldn't get it. I wanted to get another picture, another photo of that vase. I couldn't find it.
So the vase you're talking about was actually a Chinese vase with some nun prostitutes, and you went, this is it.
Well, yeah. Clearly, without any words, there was a merchant there incoitus with a nun on her back, fully dressed, mind you. And they were both fully dressed, but incoitus, right?
Yep.
And my story was in my head, here's the merchant far away from home. He wouldn't see his wife, his family for quite a long time. And these nuns made themselves available for this service. Yep. And that's how they lived. That's what their living was. But the man, it was a very pure exchange, So it was actually a spiritual benefit to both of them. Because the nuns had their balance with their masculine energy, their masculine touch, and vice versa.
It sounded like a very lonely life, all aspects of your life, actually.
Yeah, that's right, it was.
What's your relationship like with loneliness?
I don't feel lonely anymore. I feel alone a lot, and I like being alone. I realize I like being alone. I've always been an inward-looking kind of person, not a social butterfly at all. But so I do like the company of good friends. Yeah. I adore the company of good friends. But I don't feel lonely.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, you've got a lot of thoughts in your head. Luckily, you can remember detail. You can remember all these wonderful stories and people and anecdotes and things like that. I think that helps, doesn't it? Keeps you company.
But, finding or ending loneliness through a relationship, I don't think it works anyway. I don't think that works. You have to find really being comfortable with who you are.
Yeah. Where did you find that comfort?
Oh, it's a very gradual process of getting to know yourself and accepting every bit of yourself as, well, this is not who I am, but this is what I discovered about who I am as Carla, but not that Carla is not who I really am. You see, so the more I discover who I really am as a spiritual being, because that's how everybody's nature is spiritual being, right? Spiritual and innocent. That's our nature. Okay, spiritual, innocent, and fun. We're naturally joyful people.
Yeah.
Well, joyful beings. We're not joyful people necessarily, but joyful beings.
Yeah.
Having a human experience. Okay.
Evidence of that is you see little children playing, and it's a time before they get imprinted by adults for whatever culture is imprinting them. But you can just see little kids out of the box having fun. Sure, there's some probably out of the box shitheads, but for the most part, they're real happy little dudes, and there's no racism. There's no they're just playing football or something like that.
And they're creative.
Yeah. Actually, driving up your street, I saw 2 kids running on the roof. You got some pretty lively neighbours. But they look like they're having fun, in their underwear running on the roof.
Yep. They like being outside. They told me, our house is full of rubbish.
And that's the thing, right? You said in there that everybody's doing the best that they can.
Yeah.
And that's something I got told by, I think my dad a long time ago, everyone's doing the best with what they've got to do it with. Some people don't have much to do it with. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's why I don't judge people, because if I know that if I was that person with that kind of upbringing in that situation, I would most likely do exactly the same. I've got everything inside me, that is hateful and horrible. Whatever I can see in another person, I can only see it because I've got it inside me. I know I've got it inside me. It's just something I don't express. I don't need to express, but it's all there.
What are you processing at the moment?
Oh, it's always a new opportunity to forgive, right? Yeah. And also to be with my family without wanting to change them. Boy, that's something I really had to learn. because to respect the path that they are on, and even though I can see how difficult it is for them, and how much easier it could be for them, not to try and change them because, boy, well, I've got a daughter who jumps down my throat if I ever try to. She's taught me that one.
yeah. But it's hard because, you know, you've got so much knowledge and you've seen so much. And like I said, I think you've seen through inside of people, you know, more than anybody. You've seen, you know, how to close them up and control them and how they are when they are controlled and they need to express themselves.
Yeah. So I share things through my writing. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I've got an irregular newsletter. I call it an irregular newsletter. And people can sign up for on my website.
Carla Van Raay.
CarlaVanRaay.com with 2 A's and a Ray.
Yep.
And so it's Carla's News and Views.
Yeah.
Just unusual views of the news.
I think people really need to listen to that because, I mean, I look at the way I look at people that have lived a whole life and they're kind of just like stuck in nursing homes and stuff like that, but there is so much knowledge there. There has to be. And maybe a part of it's irrelevant because the times have changed or something like that, but you just look at how a teenager can interact and just discard everything that's been said. You're like, man, you're missing like a time machine. These people are time machines, you know?
Yeah. Yep, that's right, yeah. But, you know, the whole way our society has been set up now, we're missing out on so much. The way we live individually in our little places. And it's expensive living the way we do. You know, getting back to community is a big ask, you know, if you're not going to do it overnight. But we've learned to get away from community, to be isolated and isolate ourselves and not learn from each other and make life very hard. You know, nuclear families struggling with bringing up kids by themselves instead of a group of people bringing up everybody's kids.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, there's a lot to learn from that. And what do you think was the happiest part of your life?
Oh, it's now.
Yeah.
It's now. The happiest part of my life. Yes, it's now, you know?
What is it about now?
Oh, I think the older you get and the opportunity, if you take up the opportunities to become wise, then that's the upshot. You're just happy. That's the result of it, you know. And before that, I got very happy on occasions. I went to America for 3 months, which is I don't write about it in my book. As part of my healing journey, I went to America and met a lot of people whom I recognized from other lifetimes, and connecting with them, you know, my old American Indian tribe, and individuals whom I had met and to reconnect, you know, even if it's just for a few hours, was such a joy. So those times have been very special. They've been very special times in my life, you know. But when it comes to being happy, I think now is the time I'm happiest than I ever have been.
Awesome. And so tell us what's coming next for you. You know, I can see your computer there, still fired up, notes all over the place, ready to go. There's something going on, I can tell.
Well, I'm writing, you see. Yeah. And I'm not a regular writer either, you know. I don't have a preconceived idea about this is going to be it. So I've been writing a lot of articles that are now going to have to be shaped up somehow into really writing under the heading of Saving Jesus from Christianity, but going for individual topics like, you know, sexuality, for instance, or the vow of poverty and the vow of chastity and obedience, and how those 3 vows, Christian vows, Catholic vows, have percolated into society and are influencing society and are ruining society, really.
Yeah. Well, so people, when they're consuming money, they're looking for money, they're looking for sex. Is that what you mean, there's ruining society, the pursuit of those things?
Oh, no. For instance, the vow of obedience.
Yeah.
It's the believing that the authorities have got it, trusting the authorities, that they've got your best interest and that they know the truth, they know better than you do what's good for you. And they don't, you know, but trusting that and letting the banks do what they want. It rubs off into that kind of thing, trusting the government in all these different ways. They're lying through their teeth when they cry on television.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I always think that. And the blind obedience, we saw that during COVID, just that blind obedience. And no, I think because people are scared and they don't know. They don't feel like they know.
Well, to me, it's scary that people actually comply with those commands. Yeah. That is the scary bit, and people walking around with masks on because they've been told to do it. And I believe that the jabs are good for you, even though they know nothing about what's in them.
Yeah.
And nobody will tell them exactly what's in them either. Must be good for you because you're told. And the same with the flu shot,
Yeah.
How come you always get the flu shot and then you get sick?
Does seem to be that way. But you've always had this strict anti-compliance, I think. But then again, you're a nun, so I don't really understand. Were you in there hiding the streak and suppressing it, or were you in there the whole time gritting your teeth, going, "Oh my God,
No, I genuinely wanted to dedicate my life to God, to lead the holiest life possible, because I was also the guiltiest person in the world. Remember, in my own mind.
Yeah.
So I had to make up for that.
Yeah.
And to do that, I had to suppress everything except follow the system.
Yeah.
If obedience made it easy to be good because you just do as you're told, and then you were a good person, right? Occasionally, I would just lose it and become sane by being terribly insane. Like I would laugh my head off at the wrong time.
Yeah. Got you in trouble a few times.
Serious trouble, really serious trouble. But then, when I was sent away to Brussels for 6 months as a punishment kind of thing, you see, because I expected to be a punishment, I made things much worse for myself. I actually expected the worst to happen. I interpreted everything that way, So I made things difficult for myself. But it's to realize that, because a lot of people do that anyway. They do it throughout their whole lives.
Yeah. You seem particularly cheesed off when your art class got taken away.
Oh, yes, I went on strike. Went up to the bedroom, didn't come down except for meals. Didn't even go to Mass.
What was they doing? Banging your door down, God, if you don't come out here, sister.
No. They sent up a little sister, a very meek little sister, to come and talk with me, to talk me out of it. And I wasn't proud of myself for actually listening to her, actually coming down then.
Yeah.
I should have stuck to my guns, actually.
Yeah.
And you have to give me back that class or I won't come down, because it's not fair.
Have you run into any of those sisters, the older sisters, since? And they're like, man, you used to drive me nuts. Like, did they do? Yeah.
Look, there's nothing. There's nothing. I get a Christmas card from the nuns every year. And I send one back, and I said, I've got a great affection for all the nuns. All of them have died, mind you.
Yeah.
I'm 85 myself.
Yeah.
And so these were older than myself.
Yeah.
There's very few of them left.
Yeah, but I can see, in your eyes, the energy. If you had have been a nun your whole life, I don't think you'd be moving around with the sharpness and vigor that you are now.
Ooh, no, definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not, no. That's right, yes. Even a bit of moisturizer would help.
Some protection. Are you glad that would you do it all again, or what?
I would.
Same thing.
If I had a choice of this lifetime all over again, see, that's a bit of a loaded question, because if I had not had those experiences, I would not have the realizations that I have now. And besides, I think we planned these kind of lives before we come in. Mm. That's why when I was born, I just saw my whole life in front of me. When I was born, I said, no way, I want to go back. And I refused to get born for 2.5 days. I got pulled out with forceps.
Yeah.
Because I said, no, I don't want this after all.
Yeah.
So yes, and then no, I never want to live this life again. Never. No.
Yeah.
If I'm going to come back, it's going to be just to enjoy myself a lot,
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying myself a lot now, so I've got to figure out a reason for coming back. I don't know what it might be.
Do you have any wisdom to humanity?
Oh, big question, eh?